We are on the morning break in the questioning of the fourth day of questioning of Helen Steel at the undercover policing inquiry. We've been going through essentially from summer 1995, when Helen was took a break from the McLibel trial and was able to start looking back into John Dines. She went to visit the home of what she believed to be the biological father of John Dines and his new wife, that John Dines had told her about visiting, and that which has gone disastrously, supposedly, and the new wife not knowing about the fact that this man had a child by in a previous situation. We also heard about her first trip to New Zealand in 1997. We saw the paperwork about her supposedly have gone in 95, which was an absolute nonsense, lies by Lambert. I'm joined by Dave Morris, who was also in the libel trial with Helen. And what did you make of what we heard so far this morning?
Yeah, well, it's extremely shocking stuff that's coming out here. The way Helen was manipulated first into a relationship. Bob Lambert had recommended that Dines get close to Helen Steel. He engineered a relationship with her. He lied to her continuously throughout the relationship, then faked a breakdown and disappeared. And she was worried about his mental health and his welfare for years, if not decades. And at the same time, she was trying to, defend the McLibel case. Me and her had been sued by McDonald's, and it was an extremely long case and extremely complex, and we didn't have legal aid, so we had to do everything ourselves up against this massive multinational. It was the longest case in English history. Dines, when he was in a relationship with her, was breaching legal privilege by getting details from her about the advice we had been getting from Keir Starmer, who agreed to help us throughout the case for free as a barrister. Thank you, Keir. As she was looking for him, they invented this whole tissue of lies to justify surveillance, to stop her finding Dines and blowing him and the STS out of the water.
Yeah, we've seen
it would have been an utter disaster had she found him, in particular during the McLibel proceedings, because of those legal proceedings. We would have called him, Lambert, and the Commissioner of Police as witnesses to that court. The court would have ordered the Metropolitan Police to make disclosure on their role in the Lambert's role in helping to write the fact sheet we were sued over, Dines and distributing it, and Dines' heavy role in the anti-McDonald's campaign, which I was virtually not involved with at all at the time that Dines was in the group, and yet I was being sued. And actually, what hasn't yet been said, we would not.
Let's look what we've seen this morning, because we've only got a short time.
Okay, yeah.
But we've seen repeatedly in the documentation the false claim that somehow there was a threat from Helen towards John Dines, as Helen has repeatedly said, and this is very clear, and it's clear also from the subtext of so many of the documentation, that she was concerned about her former partner, who had expressed, feelings of depression and self-harm, that she was worried about him and was trying to find him in terms of welfare. Yet she is constantly being referred to in the documents as if she's somehow a threat. We see this particularly, this manufacturing perceived threat coming from Lambert, who is very clear that he's actually worried about the fact that should it all be exposed, it will expose the fact that he was involved in the Debenhams incendiary device planting and the prosecution
in the 80s.
and the prosecution about Andrew Clark and Jeff Shepherd, and those who become unsafe convictions themselves. The lies by Lambert about that she'd gone to New Zealand in 1995, which was obviously not the case because she was in the McLibel hearings every day, simply so he could get a holiday to New Zealand.
Well, not a holiday. He wanted to meet up with Dines, who had moved there, so that they could concoct and synchronize their lies, because this was becoming really big time stuff. It would have been. It would have been a massive scandal. It would have got massive publicity, global publicity, because we were already getting global publicity, sympathetic global publicity all throughout the McLibel case. So, I mean, they were in the shit here, and they were lying. Bob Lambert was. It's been demonstrated this morning, document by document, that Lambert and Dines were lying continuously throughout her search, whereas Helen was traumatized and concerned about Dines. And the last document that was shown, she made the point that Dines is writing to Lambert and thanking him for all his support over the years, and basically to help him out to get off this investigation by Helen, and she made the point there's not one word of sympathy for Helen in what she's going through, in his. Because she was concerned about his welfare. She didn't know he was an undercover cop. Yeah, very understandably, Helen has been quite emotional through parts of giving the evidence. There was one particular point where she just said she still can't get her head around the lengths to which her life has been intruded upon simply to protect the reputation of a multinational corporation and the police. I mean, it would just, and I think it beggars belief, really, the lengths they went to. Yes, because they were colluding with McDonald's, because they knew the McDonald's had infiltrated London Greenpeace, and McDonald's knew that the police had infiltrated London Greenpeace, and actually Dines was, quote unquote, in one of Lambert's documents, deliberately omitted from on the McDonald's libel list. He had actually McDonald's was at one point going to be suing him, and obviously the STS intervened to make sure that didn't happen. So this is massive collusion, huge scandal, abuse of process during the McLibel trial, at the appeal, and even at the European Court level, which we won. This whole subterfuge and abuse of legal process by the Metropolitan Police was completely covered up. It's a massive scandal. Thank you. We should have to go.
Yeah, so am I. Just quickly to wrap up, just to pay tribute to the work that Helen Steel did in exposing this unit. I mean, it's quite incredible, really, just the comprehensive nature of the research that she did. We've got to go back in. The hearing is restarting. There'll be more breaks throughout the day. We'll do more